317 pages of confidential internal government documents were leaked to the Uyghur Tribunal in September. They contain 11 documents, and they contain several speeches by Xi Jinping and other several government leaders, several speeches by Chen Quanguo, and 3 central government directives. One of the documents is classified as top secret, which is the highest secrecy level that exists in the Chinese system. The documents are of very high significance because they show in confidential speeches how Chinese President Xi Jinping himself ordered the region in Xinjiang to seize those who should be seized and to sentence those who should be sentenced to prison. Some of them were reported before by the New York Times, but the New York Times in 2019, back then our understanding of the crisis was much more limited, and also the Times didn't mention several of the documents. The documents really show how central government figures, Xi Jinping, Chinese Premier Li Keqiang, and the 4th highest politician in China at the time, Yu Zhengshen, in 2014, made statements that showed how the subsequent oppressions, notably the campaign of internment and re-education camps, and the coercive labor transfers, and the birth prevention and the policy of optimizing the population, by which there's an attempt to reduce the ratio of the Uyghur population compared to the Han, and to have more Han Chinese in Xinjiang. These policies were basically ordered or demanded by the central government. Xi Jinping himself mandated that Xinjiang needed to increase the so-called immunity of the population. And this is he said that Islam or religious extremism is like a powerful psychedelic drug that puts people out of their mind and turns them into blind killers. And that several of these statements were then later repeated when the re-education internment campaign began in the region. Re-education camps are said to increase the immunity of the population against the virus or the extreme thinking of religious extremism. So Xi Jinping used a lot of pathological language, as if Islam is like a disease of the mind that turns people into killers. He and Premier Li Keqiang and Yu Zhengshen, they made demands that Xinjiang should increase labor transfers, transferring people out of agriculture into factory employment. Xi Jinping said that factory employment helps ethnic groups become more assimilated into Chinese culture. And of course, we saw soon after 2014, Xinjiang's labor transfer mechanism became step by step more coercive, in direct reflection, as we now understand, of the demands made by Xi Jinping and others. So we can link forced labor to the central government in Beijing. It's their will. They basically ordered it in 2014, and it was subsequently implemented. In the same way, with the birth prevention, Xi Jinping said that the birth rates of ethnic groups should be made equal. A related central government document in 2017, also classified part of this leak, states that is in order to equalize the population growth of ethnic groups. And these statements, including that from Xi Jinping, that the births should be made equal, birth rates should be equalized, and the population, the birth family planning policy should be equalized. Sounds good, maybe. To equalize maybe sounds sort of justified, but actually these exact words are quoted in documents in 2018 and 19 that mandate a drastic birth control and the reduction of birth rates, and a lot of Chinese money budgeted for birth prevention measures, including sterilizations and IUDs. And Xi Jinping himself said that the population structure, the composition of the population, is a matter of national security and stability maintenance in Xinjiang. And these kind of discourses underlie the situation. These kind of discourses were then repeated later on by other academics and government officials in Xinjiang about optimizing the population structure. Another classified document from the cache from 2017 shows plans to move 300,000 Chinese settlers to Xinjiang by 2022 and to equalize the population structure by 2030. So these are all very significant statements that are all classified. They are not public, and they were not supposed to be read by foreigners. Now, this clearly shows that the involvement of the leaders of China at the highest level, Xi Jinping in the top secret document says that these policies in Xinjiang need to be implemented, and the dramatic securitization and stability maintenance because of the Belt and Road Initiative, firstly, so it's linked to his own political project, and secondly, because of China's national security and the achievement of key political goals, the so-called two centennial goals.